Zimbabwe has been thrown into a storm of speculation, anxiety, and political whispering after President Emerson Mnangagwa executed one of the most dramatic army shake-ups since taking power in 2017.
Senior commanders re-signed, strategic units reorganized.
A sudden wave of retirements announced without warning.
Promotions pushed through the system at lightning speed.
And all of this unfolding just as tensions inside SANUF rise to boiling point over the 2028 succession question.
A crossfire from government corridors to military barracks and diplomatic circles. One question now dominates the conversation: what exactly is Mnangagwa planning? The shock began earlier this week, when the office of the president and cabinet quietly issued a late-night statement confirming sweeping changes within the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. The communique, written in the usual dry bureaucratic language, failed to mask the significance of the overhaul. Several long-serving generals were moved into advisory roles, a number of commanders were retired with immediate effect, and a new set of younger, fiercely loyal officers were unexpectedly elevated to key positions. Sources say the shake-up was not merely routine restructuring. It was strategic, deliberate, and designed to consolidate the president's grip on the security establishment ahead of what analysts believe will be Zimbabwe's most contentious political transition since the Mugabe era. What has raised alarm is the way the reshuffle was carried out, with secrecy, speed, and a level of coordination that suggests Mnangagwa had been planning it for months. One source familiar with military operations described it as a silent earthquake, noting that even officers within the defense headquarters were caught by surprise. Those who follow Zimbabwe's power dynamics know that the military is not just a national defense force, it is the backbone of political authority. It was the engine of the 2017 coup. It is the invisible referee in internal SANUF battles, and it remains the institution with the power to make or break leadership ambitions, which is why the sudden changes have set off alarm bells. Insiders say Mnangagwa's reshuffle appears to target commanders believed to be aligned with Vice President Constantino Chiwenga. For years, rumors have circulated about a simmering Cold War between the two men, allies in removing Mugabe, but rivals in shaping Zimbabwe's future. Chiwenga has always commanded deep respect within the military. Mnangagwa's political faction, on the other hand, rests heavily on civilian networks, business elites, and loyal provincial structures. By reorganizing the army, Mnangagwa may be acting to neutralize Chiwenga's influence before the 2028 succession battle enters its decisive stage. But analysts warn that the move could dangerously destabilize the delicate balance of power within the ruling elite. One respected political commentator told us, Mnangagwa is trying to build a wall before the storm. Chiwenga is the storm. International observers are also watching closely. Zimbabwe's military has long been intertwined with politics, sanctions, and international diplomatic pressure. Western diplomats in Harare have privately expressed concern that the shake-up may be a preemptive attempt to secure military loyalty in case Mnangagwa decides to test the limits of Zimbabwe's constitution. Remember, Mnangagwa's allies have quietly been pushing the narrative of continuity beyond 2028, despite the clear two-term constitutional limit. The Bulawayo resolution of 2023 called for his continued leadership. Chiwenga's camp fiercely opposes this. The army therefore becomes the battlefield not with guns, but with appointments, retirements, and shifting loyalties. Adding to the intrigue is the timing. Zimbabwe is facing spiraling inflation, a weakening currency, worsening power shortages, and intensifying public frustration. In the past, such economic stress has often coincided with political realignments behind the scenes. A government facing domestic pressure typically tightens its control over the security services. Some reports suggest the shakeup also responds to intelligence warnings about possible infiltration by political actors, including those aligned with the B40 faction in exile. According to one high-level source, security chiefs recently briefed Mnangagwa about foreign-assisted political interference involving online destabilization campaigns. If true, the president may be repositioning the military to ensure absolute loyalty as Zimbabwe enters an unstable period. There is also speculation that the purge of senior officers could be linked to sensitive information leaks that have rocked government structures in recent months. A series of classified documents ranging from economic data to internal SANUF strategy papers reportedly ended up in the hands of journalists and foreign analysts. Such breaches would undoubtedly trigger a fierce response from the presidency. Meanwhile, the atmosphere within Kilogram V Barracks, Defense House, and Air Force headquarters is said to be tense and uncertain. One junior officer described the mood as everyone watching everyone. Promotions have created new power centers. Retirements have left gaps, and the rapid reshuffling has generated unease among long-serving commanders who fear being next in. Regional bodies are monitoring the situation as well. SAT has historically been sensitive to instability in Zimbabwe, especially when it involves the military. A diplomatic official from a neighboring country said, Zimbabwe is entering a period where every move carries consequences. A military reshuffle is never just a military reshuffle. Still, some argue that Mnangagwa's actions may be more defensive than aggressive. They suggest the president is watching the growing international isolation of Zimbabwe and trying to shield himself from political shocks ahead. With the United States tightening its stance, the EU maintaining pressure, and regional allies growing impatient, Mnangagwa may see firm control of the security sector as his only guarantee of survival. Others say the shake-up signals the start of Mnangagwa's final transformation of the army, shifting it away from the Liberation War generation and into the hands of younger officers he trusts. This generational shift has been predicted for years, but few expected it to arrive with such force. As speculation intensifies, one thing is clear. Zimbabwe has entered a new phase of political uncertainty. Mnangagwa's army shake-up is more than a reshuffle. It is a message, a warning, a declaration of intent. But whether it stabilizes his power or triggers a backlash from those waiting for their moment remains the biggest question facing Zimbabwe today. And for millions of Zimbabweans struggling with daily economic hardship, the fear is simple. When the powerful fight, it is always the ordinary people who pay the price.